Okay, so thanks to everybody for joining me again today on this webinar. And today we're going to be talking all about strategies to make more sales with your blogging. So it's really important that whenever you're doing anything, you try and get the most out of it for your business. And I know something that, blogging can seem a little bit daunting to some people. Some people are already doing it. I can see there's people on here that actually do blog at the moment. But I think you're still going to get something great out of the webinar because there's lots of strategies that you can use in here that will actually improve the conversions of your blog. And that's really, really important. Okay, so if I can ask you to turn off any distractions, just so for your full attention. I know Facebook can be a bit of a distraction when you're trying to watch webinars. So if you can turn them off, that'd be great. If not, obviously we have the replay coming as well. Okay, so a little bit about me. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kate McQuillan and I live in Ireland with my husband Mike and my two dogs, Coco in the middle and Joey there on the right. And I live on the top of a beautiful mountain looking over the Wicklow Mountains. Absolutely gorgeous setting. And just to give you a little bit of background about why I started my pet sitting business, it really was to solve my own problem. At the time, I had a cat and a dog, and there were very little solutions here in Ireland for pet care. You really had the option of asking friends or family, or you had the option of using kennels, neither of which really worked for us. We didn't live near most of our family, and I hated putting our cat and dog in kennels. And I had a friend actually in the UK that was doing a bit of pet sitting. She was actually doing cat sitting and getting paid for it. And I thought, wow, this is an absolutely amazing idea. And that's where Pet Sitters Island started from. Now, believe you me, our website didn't look like this in the beginning. We've obviously moved on a lot since we started. And we probably started much like most people, just an idea and a bit of a kind of hobby on the side. But it's turned into a huge business for us and something that we're expanding more and more. And blogging is one of the main reasons we've had so much success with our business. It's been absolutely huge in catapulting us from just that small little business to that massive online presence. And last year it allowed us to actually think about franchising our business, and we were a finalist in the franchise awards for our franchise model. And I started blogging for the Huffington Post as well last year, as long as doing some speaking engagements. So that's all come about through blogging. It's actually quite amazing the opportunities that have opened up for us, just because our blog has made us so visible to people. And that's why I really wanted to share some of these tips and techniques with you so that you can have that same success too. Now, let me ask you firstly, who here does actually blog? Just having a look at your names in the attendee list, and I can see that some of you do. So that's absolutely fantastic. You know, blogging is huge, and if you are blogging, you're going to already know that you've seen an increase in traffic, more trust from your customers. So it's definitely something that you probably already know does work for you. But there's definitely going to be strategies in here that are actually going to make your blog better. Okay, Barbie. Oh, right. So you blog, however someone writes them for you. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I would still take some of these strategies away because you can actually improve on those blogs. You definitely can. I know from when I first started blogging, our blogs were nowhere near as successful in terms of reach as they are now. Mary, you blog but not regularly. Yeah, that is difficult. It's difficult to keep up that consistency with blogging. I must admit, when I first started blogging, I committed to blogging 3 times a week, and I did that come what may. Like, even if they weren't the greatest blogs in the world, I made my mind up that that was what I needed to do to drive the traffic that we needed to our website. So it was kind of like a stubborn commitment to it. But I do appreciate for some people it can be a little bit challenging. Kate, you're not blogging. Okay, we are going to learn some great tips here, and you're going to see the power of why you do need to be blogging, and that's going to be so important. Okay, so the 7 strategies, what you're going to learn today is why you should blog for your business. There's lots of reasons, and we're going to go through these as to why it's so important. We're also going to touch on what you should blog about, and it doesn't always need to be about pets, so I think you're going to find that interesting. We're also going to talk about why your writing style and the structure of your blogs is so important. The structure of your blog is actually probably one of the most important things from an SEO point of view, but your writing style as well and how you can connect with customers. why keyword research is absolutely vital. And I'm going to give you some examples that will probably fascinate you and amaze you, because the slightest difference in 2 words can make a huge difference in search results. We're also going to look at why analytics is the key to your success. And I don't think enough people do enough of this. I was guilty of this in the beginning. It was kind of like, okay, 3 blogs done for the week, job done. And I never really looked at what was working and what wasn't working. And that's something that I try to be a lot better at now. We're also going to look at why you need call to actions and why it's so important to tell people what you want them to do and not assume that they will know. And then the final thing we'll cover is why you need to consistently promote your blog. And that's really, really important if you want to see success. Okay, so the first then is, why should you blog for your business? Did you know that 70%, and these are statistics, I haven't just made this up, 70% of the buyer's journey is completed before a buyer even reaches out to sales. So what that means is when somebody comes onto your website, you're only going to end up talking probably to, 30% of these people. They're making a decision before they even talk to you. They're making the decision about whether they want to use you based on your website, your blog, your information, how they land on the site, where they land on the site, what you instruct them to do. So no longer is a website just there because you need one, because you've got to have it up there so people can find you. It's actually completing a lot of the buyer's journey. So if you're not making it clear enough on your website what people need to do, you're going to be losing a lot of actual potential customers. And that goes for your blog posts as well. People want so much information before they actually speak to you or give you their email. They pretty much want all of their questions answered. So your blog allows you to do that, and that's why blogging is becoming more and more important. It's building that trust with people so that they will reach out to you to allow you to sell to them. So once they do contact you, they're giving you that permission to sell. No, people don't tend to contact you as much unless they have information beforehand. The other reason you should blog for your business then is transparency and trust. We are in the business of selling trust. There is no doubt about it. Yeah, we sell pet sitting, dog walking, grooming, whatever pet service business you're in, but we sell trust. People treat their pets like babies now. They're part of the family. It's not just a dog, it's a family member. And people want to know that they can trust you, and that's what they're buying from you. And if your website doesn't even have a picture of you on, or an explanation of the services that you do, or you're not transparent about what you do and how you do it, then how can you build trust with that person? And I know in the beginning for me, I was fearful of, oh, well, if I put all of this information about what we do and how we do it on a blog post, then surely our competitors are going to copy. No, they're not. And if they do, who cares? They're never going to be you. And by not doing it, you're allowing the company down the road to do it. So if you don't have loads of blog posts explaining what you do, you're not giving people the opportunity to get to know you and think, gosh, this is the company for me. So it's huge. Trust is massive. When you think about it, people are letting you into their homes. They're trusting you with their pets to groom them. They're trusting that you're experienced enough to train their dog. So if you're training somebody's dog, they want to know that what kind of techniques that you use, what kind of systems do you operate for training dogs. So you're building that trust and you're letting people into your business. So it is so important. And blogging allows you to do that. There's only so many pages you want to be creating on your website before it gets a bit confusing. Whereas blogging allows you to create millions of articles about every single thing that you want to tell your customers about, so that you can really educate them. And through education becomes that trust. So that leads us nicely onto authority. Blogging allows you to develop that authority in your area so that people see you as an expert. If you're looking at 2 websites and one is full of information about pet care, dog breeds, cat breeds, how to take care of your pets, what injections they should have, different grooming techniques, how to train your dog yourself at home, all this information on your website, and then you've got another website that just says, like, ring us to book, these are our services, and this is how much they cost. Which one do you think a customer is going to choose? They're going to choose the one that they think, wow, this person really knows what they're talking about, and they really know about pets. I would totally trust them with my cat or dog. So you need to be seen as an expert, even if you don't feel right now that you're a pet expert. I remember when I started blogging, I didn't really see myself as somebody who was an expert in all things cats and dogs. I had my own pets, and I love animals, but I didn't think I knew everything about pets. But I quickly learned you don't need to. You need to be able to research the information, and you need to be able to put together a well-formatted article that's going to educate your readers. And that's what gives you the authority, the fact that you're prepared to put yourself out there and talk about the subject, not that you're an actual expert in everything that you write about. The other thing is to be a resource, to be a teacher of what people want to know about. People love their pets and they want that information from you. So it's really important that you have the information that pet lovers want on your website. So whether that's somebody who's thinking of getting a pet and you've got information and tips and tricks about how to introduce pets into the home, maybe they're thinking of buying a certain breed of dog and they're thinking, wow, what would the grooming cost be for this? And you've got all the information about, what kind of grooming you need for a poodle and how much it's going to cost and what are the pros and cons of actually owning a poodle from a grooming point of view. So those kind of things that pet lovers are interested in. If you were a dog trainer, maybe you have articles on your website that talk about what it's like to get a puppy and how much training is really involved. People tend to get a puppy and think, oh, they're so cute, and then don't realize that the time that they need to spend with them. So if you can be that resource for that information, then when they come to, excuse me, when they come to actually choose a trainer, who do you think they're going to choose? They're going to choose you because you're the one that provided them with the information that they were looking for. The other thing is to be useful. When you want to know some information, the first thing that you do is you go to Google and you get your information from there. So you want to be the person that's providing the useful information in your area. So whether that be blog posts, whether you then collate those blog posts into an ebook, it's about making sure that any pet parent in your area finds answers to their questions on your site, that you're seen as the resource. So if a friend is asking somebody, oh, I'm not really sure what to feed my dog, should I get them this brand or this brand, that you get to a point where people say, you should check out the Pet Sitters Island website because they have loads of information on there and it's all free. So you're becoming a resource in your local area. They're not just going onto Google, they're using your site as a Google for pets. So what should you blog about? Obviously, you're going to blog about pets, but that's not everything. You want to answer people's questions. When you think about how you use Google yourself, you're always putting in questions and, how much does this cost? What does this do? You want to make sure that when somebody comes onto the website that you're going a little bit more than just a frequently asked questions section, that you're actually getting into detail about what people want to know about. So, what happens at a meet and greet. So for us, we just use these terms quite freely, but for other people, they don't understand, okay, what exactly is involved, what is this their opportunity to do. Same what happens, if someone's using a groomer, what happens when you come for your groom. So all of these questions are going to be things that people are asking you on the phone or asking you via email. And one of the great things about blogging is that you're going to get to the stage where all of the questions people are asking you, you have a blog post for. And what that means is when somebody asks you a question, you can go, that's a great question. Let me send you this blog post. How much more professional do you think that looks to say, oh, let me send you my resource that I've already written that details everything that you need to know about that particular subject, rather than you trying to re-explain it to somebody every time they ask you the question. And I have a great example. We used to get a lot of people who would ask for every other day cat sitting visits, and that's not something that we do. And there's lots of reasons why we don't do it. If you're a pet sitter on the call, then you'll know why. But there's lots of reasons, and sometimes when you're trying to explain to people over the phone or on an email, they kind of come back at you with, oh yeah, but what about this? Oh no, my dog wouldn't do, my cat wouldn't do that. Or no, it's not like that for my cat's not like that. Whereas when you put it into an article, you get the chance to deliver all of that information without them responding. So you can tell them all of the reasons why it's not a good idea. So they get to read every single thing before they have the realization that, yeah, you're right. And 90% of people will come back to you at that point and say, actually, I read that. Yeah, you are probably right. I do need a visit every day. Whereas if you get into that kind of backwards and forwards, almost like arguing out over the phone, it doesn't always end well. So articles can help you in that, and they can save you a lot of time. You know, you might answer the calls yourself at the moment, but once you're paying somebody to answer the phone for you, you'll appreciate that this saves them time. This saves them time answering questions on email when they could just send the article. And when you're paying somebody by the hour to work for you, that's a lot of savings. It's a lot more people they can talk to because they're getting through the inquiries a lot quicker. The other thing then is to educate readers. So educate them about your services, educate them about pets in general. You know, if somebody's looking for a dog, wouldn't you rather they were educated on the right dog to get for them? Whether that be from a grooming, training, pet sitting point of view, you're educating pet parents or potential pet parents. And by educating them, who do they think of when they come to look for their pet care services? This is all about getting yourself in front of these people that are potentially going to be looking for your service in the long term. The other thing then is you should be blogging about what your readers want and what they're searching for. And this comes down to doing a bit of research. So whether that's, you know, looking on Google to see what people are typing in or doing some actual keyword research. But don't actually think that you just should blog about things that you think are a good idea. You know, blog about what people are looking for. And bear in mind that isn't always about pets. So, for example, if somebody's moving to your area, then maybe they're looking for pet-friendly accommodation or pet-friendly rentals. You know, maybe they're looking for restaurants in the area. Maybe they're looking for pet stores. You know, it can be loosely related to pets. Maybe they're looking for the top 5 restaurants in your area. So have a think about what people in your area are searching for, because most of those people have pets. Like, pet ownership is very high. It's very high here in Ireland, and I would imagine it's similar statistics in the US and the UK. And these are just regular people wanting regular things. So don't forget, you can always step outside of just blogging about pets and give them something else that they want. Maybe they're looking for travel options. You know, maybe you find that your customers travel on weekend breaks a lot. Then why not give them some information about top 5 weekend breaks? You know, that can be really useful. If they're going on a weekend break, then they obviously need a pet sitter as well. Okay, so we're talking about what you should blog about, why you should blog about, but writing style is so important. It's not just about throwing that blog post up on your website and hoping for the best. Your blog post should represent you and your business. So what is your style of business? What's your style of writing? You want to get to the stage where people read a blog post and they're like, oh yeah, that's Kate's blog post. You know, because they know how you write. You've not got all different writers writing in different ways. You have a kind of format to what you present to people and what people enjoy. And that comes back to looking at what people are liking and what they're not liking and doing more of that. So you want to make sure that it represents you and represents the philosophies of your business. You also want to make sure it's not boring. And I don't mean that in a mean way. What I mean is that you want to make sure that it's interesting. Yes, sometimes articles are more factual and there's more detail than other articles, but they don't want to be boring. They want to be fun and interesting and still educational. So have a think about how you're laying your blog posts out. Are you making it easy for people to read through them? Or are you making them very lengthy, very wordy, when really, you know, you could say it in 500 words rather than the 1,000 words that you've written? Everybody is in a hurry, you know. A lot of people are reading this stuff on their mobile, so you want to make it easy for them to consume. The other thing then is you want to speak to your ideal customer. If you spend any time, which I recommend you do, identifying who your ideal customers, you want to make sure that you speak to them when you're writing your blog post. So have you ever read something online and you'll be reading through it and you think, oh gosh, I have to have that. That is just me. I need that, or that just sounds like me. Sometimes you might read an article about something and you just, yeah, that's me. That explains me down to a T. And you can really, really relate to it. That is what speaking to your ideal customer is. It's that kind of aha moment when somebody's reading it and they are no doubt in their mind that that's exactly what they want. Whether it's a product or a service, your copy should read so that people are like, wow, yeah, I need that. There's no doubt in their mind. And that's what will build customer satisfaction and loyalty, because when somebody uses your service, they've already decided you're the perfect person for them because of what they've read in your articles. They know this is the service that I want. This is the service, the professional service. These are the things that they do. These are their ideals. This is their philosophy. You know, this is just for me and my pet. So that's what you want to get across in your writing style. You also need to make sure it's SEO friendly. It's not just a case of stuffing in keywords and, you know, trying to get him ranked in the search engines. It's about being found for particular phrases. You wouldn't see Bob the Builder just throwing up a house without thought. What he does is he has the proper foundations and structure, and that's what you need in a blog post. You need to have good titles, you need good subtitles, you need the correct images labeled, the right amount of keywords. It's not difficult. It's about having a plan and a structure to each of your blog posts. We're not talking about just paragraph after paragraph of stuff, of words. It's about getting across the message that you want to your ideal customer, but also making sure that Google knows exactly what it is that you're trying to rank for and exactly what you're trying to tell your customers, so that Google can do the right job of putting it in front of those people. And you'll be surprised, it doesn't involve huge amounts of changes necessarily to the way you do things, but it's about remembering those key things every time you do it. So like I say, making sure that you've got keywords in your titles, your subheaders, but the right amount and the right structure of them. So structure is really important. When I paid more attention to this for my blog posts, I saw a massive shoot in conversions on my blog posts. It really does make a massive difference. So why is keyword research so vital? Because if you're not researching what you're going to write about, you're not going to get the results that you want. So don't guess, get the stats on what people are searching for, what it is that they're actually putting into Google. Now you can use Google's keyword planner, that's free. You get that by opening an AdWords account. You don't have to actually advertise with them. Oh, there's lots of keyword tools out there that you can use, but do some research. And I'm not talking like, you know, every time you sit down to write a blog post to do research individually. Sit down once a month or once every few months and do a whole load of research. You know, plan out what you're going to blog about for the next month or two, and then just do a bit of research around it. And you'll be interested in the actual difference between keywords. For example, have you looked to see in your area whether more people are typing pet sitting or pet sitter, or more people typing grooming or groomer? I know for a fact in Ireland there's a huge difference in traffic between people typing in cattery or catteries. Now, you wouldn't necessarily think about it, but there's about 400 or 500 a month difference in the search. So I know which one I want to be trying to rank for to make sure that I get those extra search. And it can be something so small as that, a slight difference in phrasing, you know, different way people ask questions in Google. You need to do this research if you really want to get the results that you're looking for. And like I say, it doesn't need to be a massive job. It's about looking, you know, a few times and just nailing those keywords, and then making sure next time you do a new batch of blog posts that you do a little bit more research. And you're not always going to get it right. You're not always going to get things perfect. But by doing some research, it's better than doing none. So why analytics are so important? Now, we should all have Google Analytics installed on our website, and if you don't, I urge you to do that straight away. And I urge you to look at the analytics, you know, and look at them in detail. What we tend to do is, and I've been guilty of this, is you look at your analytics and you go, wow, I've had all these thousands of visitors to my website, aren't I great? And yeah, that is great because you're attracting people. But do you go on a little bit further to look at, you know, who it is that you're attracting? You know, are they hanging around on the website? Are they taking any action? There's a huge difference between traffic to your website and action taken. And there's only one of the two that actually will make you money. And that's actually action. So that's somebody actually doing something as a result of finding your blog post. So if you write a blog post and you have 1,000 visitors to the website, but each of those visitors only stays on that blog post 3 seconds, my guess is, and I think I'm probably right, is that they've taken no action. They've just gone onto the website or end up on the blog post and then flicked right back off again. So you want to look at what is actually driving traffic for people to stay on and read the article. Are they then going on to read other pages? And what action are they taking? Are they then going on to contact you? Now, some of this is a little bit of guesswork in terms of, how people ended up on your site, the ones that actually contact you, unless you have kind of tools built into your website. But you can do a good job with Google Analytics. You can find out some information about people's kind of patterns of behavior. So I would advise you to do some of that, particularly start having a look at your high trafficked blog posts and see what people are doing on those particular ones. And if you're finding that they're only staying on for a few seconds, take a look at the blog post. It may be something you wrote ages ago that you could actually improve. I had a few like that were driving a lot of traffic, and I've actually been able to, adapt and change them so they're still getting a lot of traffic, but that actually more action is being taken on them. So that is really important. And what analytics is going to allow you to do then is to do more of what works. So once you start to look at those analytics and say, okay, well, this blog post has done really well, and when people are on here, they go on to read all these different pages and they're staying on the website a lot longer. Okay, so I need to write more of those blog posts. Like, do you even know which are your top 50 blog posts that you've written if you're writing them? So that okay, well, these are the most, high performing ones. I should be writing more about that. I know that my breed articles do really, really well, and they get a lot of visitors. They get a lot of people spending a lot of time on the website. So I should be doing more of those, for example. If you're doing dog training articles and you're finding that, people are asking questions about puppies more and they're the ones that are getting frequented more, maybe you should write more of those. Maybe you go on to create an ebook from them. So it's about knowing this information so that you can make good decisions about what to do more of. If you're going to blog and you're going to put the time into it, make sure you're getting the most out of it. That's so important. So the number 6 then is why you need call to actions. And call to actions are basically when you tell people to do something. And if you don't tell people what to do, trust me, they don't do anything. They'll do nothing. Because people don't always realize how they've landed on your website. If somebody's looking for some information about dog training or a breed of dog, or they have a query about grooming, whether they should get their dog groomed, they might not realize they're on your site and that you are a pet sitter, dog trainer, or groomer. They're just looking at the information that's in front of them. So sometimes you need to remind people, look, we can help you. You're looking for information on grooming that poodle. Hey, I'm a groomer. Do you need to book a groomer? You've looked for an article about getting a new dog and how to introduce it to the family. Are you planning a trip? Book your pet sitter or dog walker. So you need these call to actions. Otherwise, what you might find is people come off the website and go and look for a pet sitter, dog walker, or groomer. And you might think that's a bit strange because, wouldn't they see the logo and the name of my business? Most people are in a hurry and they don't look at stuff. They don't look clearly enough. So I am definitely not advising you to fill your website full of call to actions and bombard people with sales messages. But what I'm saying is that you need to make sure that you're giving people the opportunity to reach out to you. The amount of people that I've worked with that don't even have like an easy to access contact form on their website is amazing. You're not making it easy for people if you don't make it at the touch of a button. So if that means putting something like you see on the screen here at the bottom of your blog post or in the middle or wherever it might be, or having your contact form down the side of your blog post to make sure that if somebody wants to contact you, they don't have to look where to do it. They don't have to think, I'm on this blog post now, where do I go here? Oh, I can't be bothered with that, I'll look somewhere else. that's what people do. Because if you think about it, you've done it yourself. If you're on a website and you can't find what you want in a few minutes, a few seconds, you go off looking elsewhere, because generally speaking, we're all very impatient. So we need to make sure that we've got this stuff in front of people so that they can just jump on it straight away. The other thing with call to actions is what that allows you to do is build your list. Now, I am a huge fan of social media. I have a huge Facebook page, which I absolutely love and I'm super proud of, but I am under no illusion that that space that I'm in, I don't own. And all those 31,000 followers that I have on Facebook, they could be gone at a moment's notice. Facebook could close down my page, they could all leave, you know, Facebook could close down altogether. It's very unlikely, but it's only rented space. By having call to actions on your website to come onto your list, and I'm not just talking sign up to my newsletter, talking about creating some ebooks or something, or downloadables that people can access, by getting people, the people that like and follow and trust you, onto your list, it means they're giving you the permission to market to them at any time you will like. Whereas with social media, whether it be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you know, they're not showing as much of our stuff. We're having to pay to play a little bit more with Facebook. You've not got that ability to just send out a message whenever you want. Whereas if you build your list, you do have that permission, because people have given you that themselves, and they've given it on your land, on your website, as opposed to on that rented space of social media. So building a list is huge. It does take time. You're not going to have thousands on your list in the first day. It's a slow process, but it's about finding what people want and giving them that, so that they'll give you their email in return. So don't underestimate the power of building a list and sending out information and marketing messages to them. So the final strategy then is why you need to constantly promote your blog. And I think we need to realize that people aren't waiting to read our blog posts. As much as we'd love that, they're not just sitting around waiting for Kate to write her latest blog post so that they can read it. So you need to constantly promote it. That's why having a list is great, because you can send your blog posts out to your list. And not everybody on your list is going to be a customer, you see. They're just going to be followers of yours that are interested in the content you create. If you're not creating any blog posts, you can send them newsletters and stuff, but really you want to take it to the next level. A newsletter isn't enough without new content in it. So people want that. You need stuff that you can promote it on social media. You know, you don't want to be promoting other people's content all the time. You want your interesting articles, because every piece of content that you put out there on social media is another opportunity for you to connect with a pet parent. And that's what this is all about. It's about connections. You know, if you see somebody on Twitter asking about, I actually had it this morning, a girl was asking for a recommendation for a groomer. You can send her an article. It looks amazing. And what it is I've got her on my website now. We're not just on Twitter. You know, she knows I'm a pet person, but now she knows I have a pet sitting and dog walking business. So she's actually on there now. So that's really important. Make sure that you're promoting, and don't just promote your blog post once. You know, that's just the start of it. Make sure that you're scheduling stuff to go out all the time so people are getting an opportunity to read that. Have a look at some of the old articles that you've written. If you don't feel that they're up to scratch, then, you know, rework them and start sending them out. You need to keep promoting this stuff to people. And if you're new to blogging, don't be afraid to share your blogs. You know, share them more than once. I know when I first started, I was blogging, and then kind of feel a little bit like, oh, I don't know whether I want to share this. What if somebody questions something I've said, or what if somebody says it's rubbish? You know, you have to just put yourself out there. You can't stop yourself because you're worried what other people might think. And the other thing is, if you're not sharing your blog posts on social media, how do you expect other people to share them for you? You know, we're talking about getting found in search through Google, and that's great, and that will happen for you if you're doing your keyword search and you're blogging regularly. You know, that is going to happen. But initially, when you start blogging, you're relying on social media to get the word out, and you're relying on other people to share it for you. So if you're not sharing it, how can they share it? So, and that should have like a roll-on effect of more people sharing it. So make sure that you're putting your message out there. It's so, so, so important. And allow people then to have conversations with you. That's really, really important. Like if you're not sharing stuff, you're not allowing people to comment, and then you're not getting into conversations. I remember when I first started my Facebook page and I was sharing loads and loads of stuff with people, I would reply to absolutely everything people said. Even if just somebody said, oh, that's great or something, I'd always thank them. I'd always comment on their dog or their cat pictures, and I would start conversations. Even if someone just retweets one of your blog posts, start a conversation with them. You know, people are nice. People want to talk to you. And this is how you build the trust that I was talking about in the beginning. This is how you get people to know, like, and trust you, because you're sharing good quality information. And you're allowing them into a conversation with you, and they get to know you. People want to know the person behind the business. They want to know who it is they're dealing with, and when they begin to trust you, they'll recommend you to friends. I have followers on Facebook who have never used our services and may never do, but anytime anybody's looking for a pet sitter, they always tag us and they always mention us, saying these guys are great. They don't even use our services. They only think that we're great because we're open and we talk about our services. We answer people's comments on Facebook. We're chatty, we're friendly. That's what they think is great. So they think that's great. They assume then our services are great, and that's where they're prepared to recommend us. So don't think that every person that recommends you is a customer. It doesn't necessarily work like that. It works because of the relationship that you've built. So they are the main 7 strategies. There's a lot more detail that you could go into about how to blog and, you know, what works and what doesn't work. But how do you get really, really good at blogging? And that's something that I always wanted to know. How do I actually put this into practice for my own business? Now, I would take away those 7 strategies and I would start looking at each of them and seeing how much of it you're already doing if you are blogging. If you're not blogging, it's a foundation there for you to work with. There's also lots of information online. There's lots of blog posts. You can go onto my website, pawsonmedia.com. You'll find loads of stuff about blogging in our learning center. There's tons and tons of books you can read, free trainings. The academy there that you can teach yourself to blog in. You can find that on my website. And trial and error. There was a lot of trial and error in what I did, and a lot of looking at what's involved and how stuff is performing. The other option then is to get one-to-one help. And this isn't for everybody. Some people like to teach themselves, and I do have the Pawson Marketing Academy for that, if you're a real kind of get stuck into the information and teach yourself. But if you're not, then the one-to-one program might work better for you. I'm just going to run through very quickly the different elements of the course so you can see how that really ties into the 7 strategies. So the first thing that we do is we get to know each other, and this is so important, is to actually have a chat and see what it is that you want to get out of your business, because everybody's different. Everybody has different strengths and different weaknesses, and they're going to want different things out of the course. It's not a one-size-fits-all approach. It is very tailored to your business. So if you're already blogging, this is going to be all about making your efforts a lot better. If you're not blogging, it's going to be about getting you set up. We're still going to cover all the same content, but it's going to be a slightly different approach for the 2 different types of people. It makes no difference, though, what type of business you have, just to clarify. So whether you're a pet sitter, a dog walker, a pet groomer, a dog trainer, a veterinarian, it doesn't matter. The principles for blogging are all the same. They're the same if you're a builder, an engineer. It's all the same. It just so happens that I specialize in helping pet professionals. So the first 2 weeks then we're going to cover what to blog about and go really deep into who are your ideal customers, who do you want more of in your business, what do you want to blog about, what your actual customers are interested in, and start putting together all of those titles so that you're going to get found in search. And this is a very practical course, so you do get homework. And I do expect people to do their homework that I work with so that you get the most out of the course. So each week you have a module of homework to do, and then we review and go through it. So it's very interactive. It's not kind of like me just talking to you for 12 weeks in a row, and then off you go and figure out how you're going to implement all that. It's very, very hands-on, because, you know, there's no point learning all this stuff if you don't know how to put it into practice. So weeks 3 and 4 then are all about structuring your blog post. Like I said, this is so important, getting those structures right, putting together some templates so that you know how to write a blog post, and you have your cheat sheet as well so that you know exactly what to include in each, so that you're giving yourself every opportunity to rank in the search engines, and you're making sure that your writing style is giving people that, aha, this is the right person I want to work with moment. That's really, really important. Then we go on to creating a 90-day plan. Sometimes we create a plan for longer. It really depends on the individual and how much of a forward planner you are. We can do it for the whole year if you want to look at themes for the year, for the months, blog titles, ebooks, everything that you're going to do throughout that period of time. Or we can just do it for the 90 days and I can teach you how to duplicate that yourself. Either way, you're going to leave with a plan that you know is comfortable for you to implement and that matches the amount of availability you have to commit to this and the resources that you have too. Then weeks 7 and 8, we're going to get into promoting your blog. As I said, if you don't tell people it's there, nobody is going to be looking for it to read it. So we get into how to promote it, looking at newsletters, scheduling tools, monitoring performance, making sure that, like I said, that we're getting into Google search and that you're ranking for some of the keywords you're starting to write about, but that you're also building your social media following and transferring those people over onto your list. Weeks 9 and 10 then, we're really going to get into surveying. So looking at your ideal customers and getting some feedback from them. What is it that they want? What questions are they asking? Like I did a survey at the beginning of the year it was the end of last year for our customers or for our followers. And it was really interesting to see the things that they worry about when it comes to their pets. And it's not always what you think. I think it's a bit of an eye-opener to really get into the nitty-gritty. And it's something that once you've done it once, you could do it every 6 months. You know, all these things we're going to learn are things that you can repeat again. And you want to continually be finding out what your ideal customers want. And then we're going to look at ebooks and list building so that you can take all of the information that you've learned from what people want about promoting your blog and then building that list so that you have that list forever. And you know, at any moment's time, okay, I need some more dog walking clients, right, let's get into my list and see who's in there that needs a dog walker. I've got the permission to promote to them and contact them, so that is what I'm going to do. And then what we do at the end is we review the course. So we go through any modules maybe that you've struggled with a little bit or you want some more clarity on, or you want feedback on more of your blog posts. Now, just to mention, throughout the whole 12 weeks, every week you're going to be writing your blog post and getting feedback. So the blogging continues through the whole 12 weeks of you blogging and sending them to me and me sending you the feedback and us making changes together so that you're getting practicing. So you've got 3 months of practicing blogging with me sitting, not literally sitting next to you, but as near as, and holding your hand through that process. So there's 12 modules, and then there's a few bonuses that I have for you just to make it a little bit easier for you. So when the course finishes, obviously you get email support throughout the course, but when it finishes, I'm going to give you 30 days of extra email support so that you can contact me anytime with questions and that you can really feel that you've got that support long term. And then at the end of that email support, I'm also going to give you a free call so that you can catch up with me and I can answer any additional questions. I don't want you to feel that you're doing the course and then you're kind of abandoned. I want you to feel that you've got that ongoing support, and if you need to ask me something, you can. I'm also going to do a social media review for you. I love social media, and I think it's really, really important that you get to grips with that. If you're going to invest in blogging, you want to invest in your social media. So I'm going to get right into your social media and see what I can do to help you improve it, and see what you've actually been doing. I'm also going to help you with different page creation templates, and I have some good ones there that are really going to help you to be a local resource in your area. You'll also get access to the strategy that I use to move from 3,000 visitors to my website to 15,000 a month. And for anybody who's interested in running a pet competition, I'm going to help you do that step by step. This is the blueprint that actually gave me thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of visitors to my website every year when I run my annual pet competition. It's given me unlimited press, radio interviews, and TV appearances. Like, that's so invaluable. So there are all the freebies that you're going to get along with the course. Now, the total cost of the course at the moment, this is discounted for this month, is $1,500, and that includes everything. So that includes your full 12 weeks, all your support, all your training, full email access throughout the course, and then the 30 days after. And you can come into the Facebook group. I have a private Facebook group, and you can learn from other people. Now, if you want to have a chat about the course, I do feel that that's important. It's not a kind of a book and pay situation. We need to have a chat to make sure that it's a good match. So do go onto the website. You can request a call through there, or you can message me on Facebook. You'll find me on Facebook at Kate McQuillan. So there's two options there to get in touch with me, or there's a contact form on my website. There's loads of places you can find me on my website. So it's pawsomemedia.com. Now, I just want to show you this testimonial. Obviously, I work with pet professionals, although I have helped some other companies with their blogging, but mainly pet professionals. And Caroline was someone that came to me. She is absolutely amazing. She has done loads of blogging, but she was just missing that kind of structure, and she needed some guidance to help her. And I think what she's benefited most from is that she's loved the fact that it's so organized and that she doesn't feel overwhelmed. She has all the skills to be a great blogger. It just needed a bit of tweaking. Her website needed slightly changing. She just needed someone to hold her hand through the 12 weeks. And she has achieved absolutely phenomenal results. It's been absolutely amazing. So it's been a huge investment for her in her business to actually catapult her to the next level. So they're the kind of results that you're going to get. And it isn't, like I say, a course where I just dump all the information and leave you to it. It is something that we work together. So I'm just going to put back up the contact details there. And I know there are a few questions in the chat box, so I'm just going to go through those. So if you have questions, just pop them in there, and hopefully I won't miss any of them. If I do, like I say, let's jump on a call and I can answer them for you personally. Okay, so is the course just for pet sitters? No, I am a pet sitter and dog walker. That is what my business is, pet sitting and dog walking. But as I said, this course applies to anybody with a business, really. The blogging strategies are the same no matter what the industry is. Obviously, I specialize in working with pet professionals because that's the area that I work in, but this would work for any business. So whether you're a groomer, you didn't mention what you do, but whether you're a groomer, a dog trainer, a veterinarian, whatever it is, it's absolutely going to work for you. Okay, so how long, Sarah, how long is the course in total? Sarah, it's 12 weeks. So you have a pre-call with me before you start your course, and then it's 12 modules then after that, and we do them weekly. And the reason we do them weekly is to give you time to do your homework. Now, if you've got a trip planned or something, you know, we can skip a week, that's not a problem. But I don't like to miss too many weeks because you lose that momentum of where you were at. So it's the 12 weeks, the 12 modules, and then at the end, like I was mentioning for the freebies, I'll just go back to that. So you get the 30 days email support after the course ends, so you can email me with all your blog posts and all your questions and anything else, and then you get another call after those 30 days. So you actually get 14 calls with me throughout the sessions, and then you get the email support for 4 months, I suppose it is, for the 90 days and then the extra month. And of course, like if you get stuck with something, you know, we can hop on a call and resolve it. I don't want you to feel, you know, that you're left to kind of figure all these things out yourself. And I think there was another question there. Okay, is there a payment plan, John? John, at this price for the $1,500, there isn't a payment plan. I normally do one when the course is at full price, which is $2,400. I do a payment plan then. If it was something that you were really struggling with, drop me an email or message me through the website or wherever, and we can definitely have a chat about it. You know, I want people to avail of the course, and I want people to do well out of it, and I don't want you to feel that, you know, you can't talk to me if money is a little bit of an issue at the moment. So yeah, get in touch with me on that, and we can have a chat one-to-one about that option for you. I think that's all the questions. I hope I haven't missed anybody. Marie, you put something in there, but I can't read it, so I don't know whether that's a system glitch, or Marie Claire, or whether that's you've just leaned on your phone, because it's a whole like digits and numbers. So if you have a question though, you can get back to me and let me know. So like I say, that price is available for February. There's actually only 4 places available now, because I ran the webinar the other day and one has already gone. So if you want to get in touch with me, do. I will be around this evening. It's actually evening time here in Ireland, so I'll be around this evening or the weekend, and I'd love to hop on a call with you and just see if it's for you. And if it's not for you and I don't believe it's going to work for you, then I will tell you. I want to work with people who are going to get amazing results. Or if I feel you might be better off in the academy, which is a self-taught option, then I will tell you that too. So don't be afraid to just get in touch and we can have a chat. Now, I will be sending this out as a replay, so you should get this in your inboxes over the next day, and you can always hit reply and ask me any questions then. Well, thank you so much for all of your time. Have an absolutely fantastic day and a lovely weekend, and I will look forward to chatting to some of you very soon. Have a great day.